The Return of Gordon Gekko. Sorta. Wall Street, money never sleeps. Ain't that the truth? Alright, so Wall Street 1, I personally loved. It was a little stock market jargony with the whole talking about the over-under, and you kind of got to know what that stuff means in order to get the whole movie, but I liked it. Maybe because I get that shit. Kinda. More money's good, right? And now, 23 years later, Oliver Stone makes the official sequel. Gordon Gekko's out of jail and he wants his comeback. And also Shia LaBeouf's in it, and Shia LaBeouf wants revenge against Josh Brolin, who's the main asshole this time around. And Gordon Gekko's daughter's in it, who's dating Shia LaBeouf, who wants a father figure, which makes him drawn to Gordon Gekko, who wants his comeback and wants to patch things up with his daughter, who wants nothing to do with him. Meanwhile, this guy's like, I'm a total dick. And if that sounds a little convoluted, it's probably because it kind of is. And you cannot have too many dicks in the fire, so Gordon Gekko, like Peach in Smash Bros. Brawl, has been totally nerfed and has been bumped from antagonist to antihero, which would be okay if he didn't have 1/3 the screen time I think he should have had. I mean, come on, this should have been the story of the comeback of Gordon Gekko, which it kind of is, sorta, but not really. Gordon Gekko's main thing is he wants to reconnect with his daughter. The main arc in the movie is Shia LaBeouf wants to ruin this guy, which you kind of forget about at a point in the movie because there's other storylines that are going on, and mostly it concentrates on Aww. And I know someone out there is going to comment that Gordon Gekko wasn't the main star of the first one, and it was Bud Fox, and Gordon Gekko was like the hardcore supporting character, antagonist, douchebag guy in the background. And I get that, but I don't see Charlie Sheen on the Blu-ray cover of Wall Street. I mean, Gordon Gekko is supposed to steal the show. Instead, you have a movie that's divided among 4 characters, and no one really shines because he tries to divide it in a way that makes everyone relevant, which means no one is. You never get the Gordon Gekko onslaught that you've been waiting for since the 80s. There is one part where he Gordon Gekko's out and you're like, now we're talking, but it's just totally negated by the cop-out ending. There were things that I did like about the movie. I mean, Josh Brolin's great as the douchebag this time around, and the movie takes place in 2008, which means it is gonna happen. I mean, you're just waiting for it. The stock market fall. You know that moment where the news told us that the world was just gonna end and the economy was gonna be ruined and the machines were gonna rise, and the intro to Primal Rage, etc., which was ultimately Oliver Stone's catalyst into writing this movie. And let's face it, if you made a movie called Wall Street after 2008, you kind of just have to make a follow-up. So I like that that was relevant. But there's a lot of stuff that took place after the first movie and before the second movie that influenced Gordon Gekko's life that you just never saw. It ultimately feels like Wall Street Money Never Sleeps could be the 3rd movie in a trilogy. Like, imagine you saw The Fellowship of the Ring and then saw Return of the King, and all that shit in 2 towers you never saw. But it's relevant. So you're just a little confused. So Wall Street Money Never Sleeps was pretty much an average sequel. It's a fair attempt, it's good, it's not great. Watch the first one, it's awesome. So I'd say it's okay, but I'm not going to remember it in T-minus 13 hours. What movie am I talking about again? If you're a stock market buff, I'd say go watch this movie, because the content will at least interest you. Ironically, you need to watch Wall Street 1 to understand everything that's going on in Wall Street 2, or at least Gordon Gekko's life. But by watching Wall Street 1, Wall Street 2 looks inferior. That's a funny world we live in. But if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, then click right here to see more.